hola. I don't really know what I'm doing, so actually I should probably shut this off. First of all, let me start with saying that this isn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to do an actual birth vlog, but apparently you can't film in the hospital. I don't know, that's the Canadian rules, I guess. I'm sure it's a liability issue, so that if they, I don't know, drop your kid or something, that you can't sue them. So here I am, I'm gonna tell you a little story time about the birth of my daughter, Kai Rain Bannister. Yeah, basically, I went into labor on February 28th. I thought I went into labor at 7:05 in the morning. I was pretty convinced that my water broke. I was like laying in bed and I rolled over, which is a mission when you're full term. So I'm trying to roll over and like I felt a gush. I literally like immediately woke up and so I'm like, babe, I think my water just broke. He's like, okay. So I stand up and there's like a little puddle in the bed. He hops in the shower. I call the hospital. They told me not to rush. I had something to eat and then I got in the shower, braiding my hair up so that I didn't look crazy in the hospital. And away we went. So it was like 9:30, headed to the hospital. On our way to the hospital to get checked out. They're probably not gonna keep me, but gotta see what's going on. And that's about all the information that I have as of right now. Lanzo is driving and it makes me nervous, so.
Excellent driver.
He's an okay driver. He's a Caribbean driver, if any of you know.
The best drivers in the world.
Questionable. I guess I will update you when I have more information. Got there, checked into triage. So they got me all dressed like in a gown and everything. They had called my doctor and we were kind of just waiting on her. I'll like insert clips as we have them. It's just I don't have enough to just make a birth vlog because one, I didn't realize how long I was gonna be in triage. I was like, oh, we'll film more like when we get our room so I'm not like loud and being annoying to the other people around me, but we never really got a room. I'll explain later. I wait for the doctor, she comes. She's like, are you still leaking? I'm like, well, not really, like not too much. And she's like, okay. Are you having contractions? I'm like, some mild cramping, but like nothing crazy. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna do a swab to make sure that your water broke. She swabs negative. She like takes me in another room, puts my legs in stirrups, literally goes all the way up my vag, swabs my cervix, nothing. You're still only like about a centimeter dilated. You haven't effaced at all. Your water didn't break. I'm sorry, basically you're shit out of luck. So now I'm like so discouraged because, you know, you get excited. Like I was so excited and I was like so ready to meet her. Like I was so over being pregnant. I was literally a whale. I was a whale. Like I was like the size of the screen. We head home. We're back home. As of right now, we're basically on hold. We're gonna try to walk and bounce on the ball. I'm pretty discouraged, but I feel like if I lay down, that's not gonna help my contractions progress. I need to prove these nurses wrong. Yeah. So we'll see. Alonso's like trying to, he's so good. Like, I'm so lucky. He's like trying to keep me positive. He's like, let's just do our laps. So like we live in an apartment building and while I was pregnant, we did a lot of walking, but it was obviously the dead of winter. So I'm not gonna walk outside and risk slipping and falling. So we literally just walk the hall, go up the stairs all the way to the top floor and then do it all the way down and all the way back up. So we did lots of laps and my contractions got a little bit stronger, like just as I would consider them like period pains, but I have really bad menstrual cramps. I'm like, hey, you know what? If I'm gonna go into labor, like I should probably rest and, you know, wait it out. So I was like laying down, watching TV, like timing contractions. I'll put a screenshot of that up there. They were like super irregular, lasting about 45 seconds to a minute. And like I said, they were just mild. And I had had contractions for like the last month of my pregnancy. Like honestly, I had Braxton Hicks every night. I had a lot of trouble sleeping. So I was like, I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, whatever, like I'm at loss, you know, I'm just gonna take a nap because I was sad. If I do not close my eyes, I literally closed my eyes and a freaking river came out of my body. I was like, okay, I think my water actually broke. So I tell Alonso, babe, bring me a cup, because if I go into this hospital, I am not being sent back home. I will bring a cup of my fluid so they can test that fluid, because I'm not doing this. So if he doesn't bring a cup and I stand up and like literally a flood on the floor, like I fill the cup, I'm dripping all over everywhere. So I like put a towel underneath me. I'm like trying to get to the bathroom and I'm just like leaking liquid, like as if I was constantly just peeing. My water definitely broke, so I head back up to the hospital. It was so funny because it was Karen was her name that was in the front of triage, and I like look in and she like kind of giggled and like let us in, and I'm like, okay, my water actually broke. She's like, okay, I believe you. Got me redressed. She's like, I'm gonna call the doctor back again, and I'm leaking everywhere, like all over everything. It's super uncomfortable. And then this is where I have the clips of us in the hospital room. Let you watch those.
Okay, now you can say your piece.
What?
Oh.
Well, let's just leave it with I know my body, okay?
Okay, let's bring some truth to the light, because she gonna be extra dramatic about it. First time, we thought it was true. I even thought it was true. I was excited to move, right? Cool.
It must have been just, are you know what I'm saying? I think it must have been maybe like mucus or something. I don't know.
Right, so she gave the grips that it was
wasn't
mucus. We thought it was really legitimately like a little, with a little mixture of whatever mucus. I thought that what it was too.
But this
But
was like a lake.
It was
Out of me.
this time. Yeah, she definitely got, yeah. She all hooked up. Beating, she's strong as an ox. I don't know where she got that from, but
Whatever.
you know, we just gonna sit and chill in the cut. Snack. But we keep you all updated.
Suck. They're not like horrible, but they suck.
If it was easy, everybody would have a baby. Not everybody. Not like everybody should have a baby. Hey, no, nigga, do what you like.
You gotta click the screen.
Well, niggas guess it's the, it's, there you go. The light is fixed, y'all.
It's gotten so small. I lost so much water. I'm literally walking into the hospital with wet pants.
It was unattractive, but
It's not cute.
thank God I'm like, no.
Talk
Gang,
about
gang.
It was probably about like almost 5 o'clock when my doctor actually showed up. She kind of talked to me about my options. My first option was to go back home and wait for my contractions to regulate. So like I had contractions, but they weren't regular and they weren't strong. So she told me I could go home and wait it out, but it was probably going to be a really long process. And I was like, listen, I've already been here twice today. I'm so ready to have this baby, but I don't want Pitocin. So Pitocin is like the drug that they give you to induce labor through the IV. I didn't want an epidural. And I know that it's really difficult when you induce labor. So she was telling me that there was another option other than Pitocin, and it's called misoprostol. It's actually the drug that they give you for medical abortion. So it causes your uterus to start contractions, essentially. She said that it's a little bit easier like on your body and it would get things moving. And usually they have to give you more than one dose. So she's like, it's pretty like easy. What is the word? My mom brain. Like a gradual thing. I don't know. So I decided to take the pill. We kind of settle in and they have to monitor you for an hour. So I had to like lay in the bed for an hour and then wait. So contractions really started about 20 minutes after I took that pill. I was like, holy moly, these are the real deal. They were pretty painful. I was like starting to have to really like focus and breathe through them. By the time the hour was up, the nurse wanted to come and get me to stand up and walk the halls because it helps move labor along. Well, if I'm not leaking all over the place and in an excruciating amount of pain, and now you want to tell me that you want me to get up and walk. Whatever. I'm like, okay, I'm telling myself, I'm like, Megan, you already know this. You have to get up and walk. She's gonna be here sooner if you do. It's gonna be over and done with. Meanwhile, Alonso still hasn't gone down to the car to get our hospital bag because I am still in triage, which is fine. It's only been an hour, or I guess 2 since we actually got there. And they were waiting for nurses because they had an emergency C-section on the floor. So it wasn't that there weren't any rooms, it's that there wasn't any nurses to care for me. So I get up, we walk the halls, I'm dripping everywhere. I'm in a gown and winter boots because my slippers are in my hospital bag, which are in the car because we didn't bring the hospital bag up with us because they tell you not to in case you get sent home. And plus you don't want to have a bunch of stuff while you're in triage because you're just in like one of those little like curtained rooms. So it was just a mess. Like I'm dripping all over my Uggs, like stuff's coming down my legs. I have a big diaper on and a gown and it's a mess. I don't even have my robe. I'm not comfortable, but it is what it is. I'm doing what I gotta do. I don't know, we walked up and down the birthing unit probably like 3 times and I was like, hey, I need to go back and sit down. Like I can't do this. Like I'm in a lot of pain. Like my legs are like feeling like they're gonna give out. I think I want the morphine. They asked me to go pee. I didn't think that going pee was gonna be a mission while you're in labor, but it is. Cause like the last, like in between contractions, you're like trying to sit down on the toilet and then also trying to like push out your pee and everything's contracting and it was not a good time. Take everything one thing at a time. Finish peeing, get back in the bed. They give me the morphine. Oh my God, I'm in heaven. I'm like, okay, this isn't too bad. You know, I'm kind of just chilling, kind of just breathing through everything. And like, as they're getting really strong, I had no idea what your body is prepared to do. Like my brain just like took over. I literally would have a contraction, breathe, and then like start snoring for like that like 2 minutes or whatever that I had in between the contractions because they were really close together. I have never been a person that's able to just like fall asleep like that, but my body just knew that it was what I needed and that I needed the rest. Yeah, it's probably like 8 o'clock by the time my mom gets up there. And you can only have 1 person in triage with you. So once you get your room, you're allowed to have 2 support people. But because I'm in triage, I'm only allowed 1. So my mom comes in and by the time she got there, my morphine had like started to wear off. I swear it was only really good for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Begging for more morphine. I'm like, please, like I need something. Like now I'm getting kind of loud. And so the nurse checks me and I'm like 4.5 centimeters. And I still don't have a room, people. Begging for morphine, begging. I'm like, please, like I can't, like I couldn't focus. I lost my focus. So I was feeling everything a lot more. So she comes back in, she's like, okay, I'm gonna try to get you the morphine. She wasn't. I learned this after she had told Alonso, she's like, look, she's 4.5 centimeters. If I give her another shot of morphine, it's not gonna do anything. Like it's not gonna help because she's at that stage of labor where a little shot of morphine isn't gonna do anything. These contractions are literally like, I don't know, probably every minute. I have to ask my mom because obviously I was in my own head. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I can't do this without an epidural. And I'm like, look, like I'd rather be comfortable. So I tell the nurse, I'm like, honestly, I know I said I didn't want an epidural, but I think I need to. And she's like, okay, that's fine. We actually have an emergency C-section, so the anesthesiologist is already on the floor. As soon as he's done, I'll get him to come to you and we'll get you in a room. I'm like, okay. So time goes by, I'm still dying, basically dying in triage. And we got our room at 10:45. Immediately the anesthesiologist comes in and I got my epidural. That in itself was a mission for me because I hate needles. Well, 1, I hate needles. 2, I didn't want an epidural. So I'm like feeling like pretty like discouraged and down on myself because I really thought I could do it. I just wanted to see how far I could get without it. So technically I made it about halfway. Epidural kicks in, I'm living my best life.
I'm no longer dying. My body is numb from about my belly button down. So we're good and gonna have a baby.
It doesn't take away everything. You still like feel like pressure, but it's nothing. Trust me, the pressure when you need to push is a whole different story. Basically, they look at my mom. It's probably going to be about another 6 hours until she's actually ready to push. So everyone should go get some sleep. You know, dad needs to sleep, mom needs to sleep, and they're telling my mom to just head home, get some sleep, and they'll call her back when I'm almost ready to push. Send my mom home, we go to sleep. It was 1:45 and I woke up with the most insane amount of pressure. I was like, holy, this is what they talk about. Like, I think I'm almost ready to push. There's a nurse like watching me and monitoring me, and she comes and checks me. I was 8.5 centimeters. Like, I went from 4.5 to 8.5 in like 2 hours. It's crazy. Crazy for first time mom. So she's shocked and she left to go call my mom to tell her to head back. She was probably out of the room about 10 minutes. Like, I probably had like 3 or 4 contractions. It's like, babe, you need to get up and go get this nurse again because like I need to push. Like, I feel like something's gonna fall out of my vagina. She comes back. I'm 9.5. What is the word? What is the word? Progressing. I got it. Thank you. I was progressing super, super fast. So I'm 9.5 centimeters and like I wasn't completely effaced. I still have a little bit left to go. I guess I should explain. So dilation is your cervix actually opening, but it's also lengthwise too. So you have to think of it. But effacing is as your uterus is thinning out. So it completely thins all the way out as it's opening. So I still had a little bit left to go before she was completely like ready to like fall through my cervix basically. She's like, we're gonna put your feet in stirrups and it'll help get you just past that like 0.5 centimeter and get you the rest of face. I'm like, okay, cool. My mom pulls up almost right away. I swear she didn't sleep. She sounded awake when Alonso called her on the phone. And I'm like starting to feel my toes. So I'm like, bless. I had the epidural, but I'll still be able to like feel her come out. So I'm in a lot of pain, but I'm also like very happy that I wasn't completely numb because I didn't want to be. That's the main reason why I didn't want the epidural. Like, I wanted to be able to feel everything. And I know some people don't understand that because why would you not? Why would you want to feel it? Like, it's painful, but I did. It was about 10 minutes later and she was like, okay, you can push on your next contraction if you want. And I'm like, holy moly, like this is really happening. I'm like, okay. I'm like trying to stay calm, trying to breathe. I'm in a lot of fucking pain. And I start pushing.
I'll be right back. Don't push. Don't push. Harder. Good girl. A little more. And again. Pull in your bum hard. Good girl. Can you see the hair there? That's your baby's head. My hair. And one more. Come on, babe. You can do it. Good job. Yes, please. Good job. It doesn't like your finger.
Yeah, it doesn't like me anymore.
Doesn't like you?
No.
What did you do? girl, that's the spot. And again. Girl, harder, harder. Push past all that pressure. A little more. That's the way. Deep breath and go. You got it. Okay, you ready? Yeah. Help her with this. You can do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you each support a foot.
Yeah.
Okay, like this while you're pulling.
Okay, hold on.
Okay. Okay, ready?
Yeah. Tell us.
So you pull. No, I need you to pull on your legs.
Okay.
And you support the feet. That's exactly it.
Okay, perfect.
Good. That's exactly what you need to do. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. A little bit more. Give me a little bit more. And again, go back to that spot. Harder, harder. You're doing amazing. And one more. Good job. Harder. Hold it, 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 hold it. Good work. So that's your best one so far. Nice slow deep breaths for you and baby, okay? Nice. Okay, so
Clear legs.
So I'm gonna put my pressure there. Right down here. Harder, 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 harder. A little more. Get around the corner. Harder, harder, harder. Good girl. A little more, little more, little more, little more. And again. Make her stay down here. Harder, harder, harder. Good work. And again. You are awesome. Yeah, ouch. Do you want to feel it?
Yeah. Yes, you do, baby.
Right there.
Her
What's your
hair.
baby's head?
She's got curly hair.
Awesome.
A ton of it.
So that pressure's not going to go away.
Well, she's staying there. That's a good thing.
What's her name?
You ready to give it up yet?
Hi. Aw, that's so sweet. Have you been keeping her still this whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, good job. I catch you at a weak moment.
She's good at her job. She's done this before.
Oh, sorry, sorry I didn't realize.
Actually asked me if I wanted to reach down to feel her head. I was kind of like, I don't know, like, because you're just so focused on pushing, like, I didn't want to move. I didn't even want to reach to, like, feel her. She's like, no, trust me. My mom's like, touch her. So it was really cool to, like, be able to feel her head. I was like, oh my God. It's, like, really bizarre to, like, feel a head in between your legs, even though, like, you know it's gonna happen. But let's just take a minute to talk about this ring of fire, honey. I need some water for this. Bro, when I tell you my vagina was about to rip open, it's like everything else doesn't matter. All the pain in your stomach and your back and your legs, everything disappears, and it's just the opening of your vagina that, like, your brain is focused on, like, I'm about to rip open. The problem here is, everyone, when you think about tearing during childbirth, you think about tearing to your asshole. Tell me why I feel like my clit is about to rip off of my vag. Like, I didn't feel it sore underneath. I felt it sore up top, and I had probably about 2 months prior with Meg, my best friend, we were reading the story about how someone literally ripped through their clit. So now in the back of my head, not only am I trying to focus on having a baby, I'm thinking I'm gonna lose my clit. Like, my life is over. She's like, it's okay, push through it, push through it. And I'm like, bitch, my clit is about to come off my body. I pushed through the ring of fire and I made it, and out she came at 3:12 in the morning on February 29th. She weighed 7 pounds 12 ounces, which is actually smaller than I thought she was going to be because I was the size of a whale. And she was 20.5 inches long and the most beautiful little being. It didn't tear, surprisingly. I definitely thought it felt like I was going to tear. I actually had like I guess it's a minor tear, I don't know, up top, kind of, but she said honestly if I put stitches in it, it's probably gonna even take longer to heal than if I just leave it. So it wasn't too bad, honestly. I think that healed up probably about 8 or 9 days postpartum, and it was like completely, like it was fine. We were only in the hospital for like about a day after, and we got sent home. And here I am almost a month later. Long story short, I only pushed for 23 minutes and I was actually only in active labor for 3 hours, which is crazy. From start to finish, I guess, hold on, I gotta do the math. Oh, well, I guess 12 hours. Duh. Wow, blonde moment. Yeah, I could talk all about my postpartum journey, but I'm gonna save all of that for another video because, you know, I'm a YouTuber now. I'm gonna try my best to actually upload videos. I guess like either message me on Instagram or leave a comment below of things that you want to see from me. I have stories for days. Like, I have so many stories that I could tell you guys. I've been meaning to do this for years, to start a YouTube channel. I could go on a little rant right now about the whole pandemic that we're going through too, because my daughter still hasn't had her hearing test and won't have her checkup for vaccinations, and I won't have my checkup either because everything is closed. I could go on a whole spiel about that, but I'm already at 29 minutes and I don't know what parts exactly I'm going to be able to edit out of this because I'm literally spewing information the whole time. I tried to talk fast and speed through it so that I could get everything in because I talk a lot. That's it. That's my birth story. That's how I brought my daughter into the world. It honestly wasn't that bad. I even said as soon as I was done, I was like, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. It was the most magical experience of my life. Honestly, couldn't have gone any better. She came right on her due date and a leap year. I don't know what the odds are of that, but obviously I can imagine they're pretty slim. Leave it to me. Yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this isn't dragged out too long and you actually enjoyed it. I'm sorry it took me so long. I'm a new mom and the world is literally ending. So it's taking me a while to find some time to actually do it. Yeah, I guess subscribe and leave me a comment and share and do all that fun stuff. I'll see you next time. I never even thought that maybe you guys want to see her. So let me go get her and Kai will make her cameo. She's having a bottle at the moment. She is breastfed, but she has a broken lip. So we're bottle feeding. Just uno momento. I just told a story about your birthday. Everyone wants to see you. Say hi. Say hi, Mama. What do you think? Say hi. My pretty girl. Yeah, she's the cutest. She's the cutest little bean. Huh. She's the best. I couldn't be happier. Okay, now we're leaving. Say bye. Say subscribe to Mommy's channel so you can see more of me. I don't know what she's looking at. My water bottle? I don't know. She can't really follow objects too well yet. Thank you for being a good sport. Hi. More yummies? Do you want some more yummies? No? Okay. See ya.